Hey guys, and welcome to my first addendum video. What this is essentially just giving you variations of a tactic that I've developed. For example, in this video, we're going to be talking about different versions of the ODST protocol. Now, why they're addendums could be for very different reasons. One of the reasons, for example, for one of my addendums is because it might not be around for much longer. It's just so good that I have a feeling they might change it. They might change it somehow. It's really powerful right now. So I don't know if it's going to be around, so I'd rather just put it in addendum. And others, it's because they're either really resource heavy, so it might not be worth it to do it, or it's just not as effective as the original strategy. So that's why I wanted to do two separate videos, one for the strategy itself and one for its addendums. Starting out with Addendum Praesidium. What this is essentially just a positioning thing. When you're moving your model up, instead of just moving him up within 3 inches of somebody out in the open or whatever, try as best as you can to make sure it's next to cover. The reason for this is that cover stacks with obscurement. So if somebody shoots you and you're obscured and in cover, they automatically lose 2 of their attack dice. They lose them because obscurement takes 1 away automatically. They can't make crits, and since you're in cover, you automatically retain a save. So 2 of their attacks have already failed. The reason this is an addendum is because I don't know how long this will be the case. I have a feeling they're going to say that if you're in cover, you cannot be obscured. They might say, hey, if you're in cover and there's heavy terrain near you, you can't be obscured by heavy terrain. They might say that. Or, they might say that, and then they might also say, hey, if you're in cover and you pop a smoke grenade, then you can still stack obscurement with cover. But until that happens, I do recommend you trying to be in cover. This, I think, almost guarantees your survival. It's kind of crazy. Next up is Addendum Impetum. So what this one is doing, essentially, is when you go up, you make your shooting attack, you do the ODST protocol, then instead of dropping a smoke grenade, you throw a stun grenade. Stun grenade, if you pop it off correctly, if you make the correct save, or you make the correct dice roll, which is a 4, you actually get to take away 1 target's APL. If they cluster them up, they make the mistake of clustering people up, then they would make, they could potentially take 2 or maybe 3 models, but typically it's going to be 1 model whose APL you take away. This could be very good, right? Taking away APL from any model is pretty bad, especially if they haven't gone yet. You essentially reduce them to either just moving or shooting and staying in a bad position. There's a lot of reasons why you would want to stun somebody. But personally, I always think it's going to be better to drop a smoke grenade. But if you really think that they can guarantee that kill, right? Maybe they have a plasma gunner and it could be precision. Whatever the case may be, throwing a stun grenade would probably... There are times where that would be a good thing to do. Next up is Addendum Tacticus. So this one, I call it that because it requires a little bit of planning in order to just make just add another special rule to your weapon, basically. So there's an equipment called an ammo cache, which you can set up within your territory, right? So you can set it up at the edge of your territory, right next to your opponent, or not right next to your opponent's territory. You go up to it. I think if you're within 3 inches of it, it allows you to get a special weapon rule. essentially, it just gives you balance. It allows you to re-roll one of your attack dice. So on top of being, you know, accurate 1, piercing crits 1, you also get balanced and also severe. You can essentially, basically guarantee you get the kill. But again, it's resource heavy. You'd have to use an equipment point in order to get this. You'd have to properly plan it out. Yeah, it's just a little bit of layer of difficulty that I thought was not necessary in the original tactic. This next one I call Addendum John Halo. Okay, this is when you turn your guy into a Spartan. Okay, this is when you've truly become everything. It is when you use the ammo cache, and you get up on Vantage, and because you're on Vantage, you have cover. Cover. If you're on the Vantage point in the new edition, you automatically have cover from the floor. So you're gonna have cover. You're gonna have the balanced from the ammo cache, and because you're on the Vantage point and you're above, you're above 2 inches of another operative. If you get very lucky and they've put somebody right like underneath a vantage point, you can actually shoot them within 3 inches. And if that happens, then you actually get accurate 2, because accurate actually stacks. So if you have 2 instances of accurate 1, you actually just get accurate 2. So you get to retain 2 attacks automatically, which means you, with all the ODST protocol stuff, you get 2, you essentially get a crit and a hit. Pretty good, okay? Now, in order for this to happen, you would have to have an insane amount of luck. If you do manage to pull this off, please let me know. I want to know your story, because I want to pull this off one day. I just don't know if the stars will ever align to let that happen. Alright guys, that's it for this video. My name's A Bit Tactical. I hope you liked it. If you did, please subscribe. Comment on whether you liked any of these addendums to the original tactic. If you haven't watched the original tactic and you watched all of this video, I don't know what you're doing. Go back, watch my video, the ODST protocol. I'll have it linked. They'll also be in the same playlist. And yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.